Hello everyone, this is David, and today I'm going to be bringing you a review of the new Sky Simulation MD-11. This airplane is released a couple days ago, and so far I'm very, very impressed with it. The exterior model is absolutely gorgeous, with a lot of great details to it. You have things, like some nice 3D touches here on the radome, your AOA indicator, pitot-static ports. These inlets here look really nicely modeled. Outlets on the gear, you have your shock absorbers, small springs. Even up in the wheel well, you can see it gets a little greasy up in there. Very, very nicely done exterior model. The aircraft has nice bump mapping and also, nice exterior textures there. You can kind of see where the windows used to be, and a little bit of, rain and stuff has pushed some dirt down there. Coming around the airplane, the texture work really does look very nice. Along the fuselage, you got some dirt, the engines are, polished. The 3D fan blades look really nice in there, and they also look really nice in motion as well. Coming up under the wing, there's a good bit of detail here as well. You have, rain putting some, grease and other dirt and stuff back along the wings. So some nice weathering and dirt. And this isn't a brand new airplane. This is a freight dog. The 3D model is extremely nice, like I said. So you have all your static wicks modeled, your glass around your nav light, and then your strobe back here is also modeled. And there's the same amount of detail on the front as on the front. So you have your brakes back here, all your brake lines going down. A very nice model indeed on the outside. And when we start up here, you'll be able to see the really nice fan models that they've put in the airplane. So what I want to show you now is some of the things that come along with this airplane. So you get some ground handling style stuff. So if you don't have GSX, this is really good. Also on the exterior here, just one more thing. So if you open the windows inside, obviously they open here. On the outside, they're independently controlled. So open the pilot side or the co-pilot side. Have the nice glass effect there. The polarization, kind of the discolor, like the polarization windows on big jets get. It's there as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Shift 1. That brings up a menu here. All right, I have the GPU hooked up, so we have power to the airplane. We can hit maintenance mode, and what that will do is it'll open up all my engine. There's not a whole lot of detail in the engines. Drops the gear doors and opens up the APU hatch. There's not a huge amount of detail in here, but still pretty nice. You do have the radome open up, and you got the radar dish going back and forth, which is pretty cool. And a very nice animation to go along with that as well, just not pop open or closed. Have a ground crewman out there. We can go ahead and bring our ground service vehicles out. All right, so the animations for these are really nice and smooth. The models look really nice as well. We can go ahead and open up our cargo doors and our main door here. So when the main door opens up, like I said, very smooth animation. Eventually you'll see that cargo container come out there. We can open up our main door here, and we can bring up our air stairs. So the truck will drive over there and let the crew out. You can see on the cargo model here, we have a cargo net there separating the flight deck from the cargo area. So that pops out there. So just neat little details on the exterior model. So I'm going to close all this up. You can see it getting loaded there. And all the vehicles are pulling away now. Can shut that main door now. and we will go inside the VC. All right, in the VC, everything looks pretty nice. There are a couple textures that I think could be improved. Mainly these textures right here, the pillars. They look okay when you're looking at them from the side, this distance. But as you get closer, they kind of start looking kind of blurry and pretty rough. But overall, the textures everywhere else, like back here in the circuit breaker panels, look nice. And I think the reason why they put some lower grade textures in some spots was to save performance and also VAS. What you have to remember is this airplane is not only available with the 64-bit version for Prepared 3D version 4, but also for FSX, FSX Steam, Prepared 3D version 2, and Prepared 3D version 4. So they're trying to conserve VAS on the model. They've done a really good job. As you can see, I'm here at Flight Tampa's Kaitak, and I'm on my laptop. I'm not on my main desktop PC. With decently high settings, a little bit of weather, and I'm still averaging about 50 FPS in the VC. And that's with all the screens turned on. So we'll go ahead and we'll come back here. Let's kind of have a look at everything. So there's a couple cool, nice animations in the VC. So if I want to go ahead and shut my window there, it's really nicely animated. The little, can't really see it here, little handle there. You open and close it, the handle will roll back. Just a nice little touch. These pop down, so nothing super exciting there. And you can adjust the headrest and raise that up and down. The seatbelts are in 3D. The textures on the seats look pretty nice. And you also have these guys to kind of block a little bit of the sun out. You got one there and one there. You also have this. You can either just pop it down, or if you do that and kind of drag it, it and the one on the captain's side will both come forward, and they will block out a little bit of the sun's glare for you. The textures in the VC, besides the ones I just pointed out, though, are actually pretty nicely done. With the headsets there sitting up, just kind of nice little details all over the VC. You can see that they really did try with the airplane. I know a lot of people have said, oh, it's not a super deep systems level airplane. And that is true. It's not extremely deep, but I think it touches at it goes deeper than just the surface. I would say it's more systems depth than a Coronado. Not quite as much systems depth as a PMDG. Definitely not as much as FS Labs. I would say it's on the level of close to Aerosoft, like the Aerosoft Airbuses, systems level wise. It's the kind of airplane where you can just jump into and go fly it very quickly. So let's just kind of talk about the VC here. Like I said, the 3D modeling, the textures, all look really good. And most of the functions do work. Obviously, we got the parking brake on right now. Dial a flap does work. The start, you can do a startup on it. All these switches here do work for your VHF1, VHF1.2, and your VOR, VOR2. The radar and these audio panels don't work. Your transponder obviously does. The auto brake system does work, as do the anti-skids. Not super fans of those because they will lock up on you. They will lock the brakes up still when you go full deflection on the brakes. Obviously, you can turn your flight director on and off. On the, not the primary flight display, but the secondary flight display, you can put in different, so you can go TCAS mode, VOR mode, approach mode if you wanted to do that, plan mode, or map. On map, you can either clutter it or declutter it with airport, etc. So go to map, put APT, and it will actually load the airport onto the map there for us. Down here, if we come on to this, so we can actually see that all these pages here are available, and they do work. We're shut down right now, so we have a bunch of messages there telling us what's all wrong. We have a hydraulics, electrical schematic, air schematic, or a pneumatic schematic. Engines are configuration, so if I roll the wings there, we'll get our aileron deflections. Obviously, it's not wanting to work 100% because we are not powered up. But that is all displayed on there. Supposedly, from what I've read, the air conditioning system, the pressurization system, fuel, electrical, and hydraulic systems are all pretty much modeled completely. I know the pressurization and the hydraulics, I believe, are modeled fully, and fuel system as well. What doesn't work up here is stuff like the voice recorder. Apparently, you can test it, and your IRS does work. These work. So you can run the tests there. That will work. This sort of stuff over here, like the evac, doesn't work. And a couple things up here don't work. But mostly minor subsystems, all your anti-ice works, fuel use, etc. The cockpit lighting is actually very nice on this airplane. They've done a great job. It is dimmable. So it's not, like let's say a Coronado airplane where it's just a basic night lighting panel. What you see is what you get. You can dim this, customize it a little bit to suit your needs. So let's talk about the bad on this. So far, the only thing bad that I found is the FMC. There's not very much to it. You can do radio nav to get your VOR frequencies next to your ILS. You can go to airport. Well, this is data. You can type in, let's say, airport. So we'll type in KHSV. That's where I'm an instructor. So it gives me my lat long comms, which these are correct. So 25.6.18.05, those are correct and current, what we're using right now. I'll also give you the runways, runway lengths, etc., and VORs and their frequencies. Flight plan, you can do direct. So if I was going to put this in here, so at least radio nav, you can shoot an ILS, but if I was going to put a flight plan in here, this would be like VHHX / kind of like an Airbus VHHH. Put that in there. It gives me a cost index, my flight altitude, and then it puts it in here. It's very simplified. You do get V-speeds and V-speed callouts. These are based upon the airplane's weight, and they're automatically calculated in here. Right now, I've got some fuel taken off the airplane just for takeoff performance, and since we'll be coming back in and landing. So what I'm going to do this time is go ahead and start the airplane up. I'm just going to Control E it. You can do a normal startup, but for the sake of time for this video, I'm just going to hit Control E. I think the sounds package for startup leaves a little bit to be desired, but these were, reading from the site, were recorded off of actual an actual MD-11. Alright, so we've got some warnings here. We'll go ahead and we'll check and see what they are. So we'll go ahead and turn on our emergency power, arm our emergency lights. Go ahead and get some air flowing into the cabin here. And let's see, we're looking cargo door and auto brake. So auto brake, we'll go to TO, and we'll see about this cargo door. Okay. So go shift 1 here. And we'll go ahead and close those cargo doors there. Alright, we'll go ahead and taxi. Like as I said, the performance, even at the scenery with dynamic lighting and quite a few of the gizmos turned on here for this scenery, the performance is extremely fluid. You have some nice details up here, you know, your panel, your glass panel here, little heater probes, etc. Obviously all your anti-ice does work. I feel that the airplane does taxi a little bit fast at idle power. This is like right at idle, and the airplane, unless you're on the brakes, will, you know, kind of run away from you a little bit. You have a nice tire rolling effect there. I think it's a little bit overstated because they kind of flash at you. But they are moving at least. So if we come over here, we do our flight control check now. Bring that all the way back. We get that. We get our rudders and our ailerons. Not 100% current on the dial-a-flap system. I'm not too familiar with it, but it is modeled to be there and to work. You can change the brightness of all your displays, etc. So like I said, to me, feature-wise, it's up there pretty much with the Aerosoft Airbus. Maybe not quite as featured as that, but really very close. The 3D model in the cockpit with the shadows looks great. They got that handle done correctly and clear. Autopilot, it does work and does track your nav very well. I have not tried to auto land it yet, but I plan on doing that eventually. Bring our landing lights on here as we taxi out. So you've got the strobes flashing onto the ground there, that looks nice. And we will get ready to take off here. Not exactly on center line, but close enough. You do get all the voice announcements there. They'll call out 80, V1, V2, etc. And for those of you who are saying, oh, it's accelerating too fast, it's just because the airplane is light. I've only got about a 24% fuel on board.
V1, rotate. V2. Gear up, no lights.
Altitude.
Laptop.
Stabilizer motion.
does have some nice call outs for you there. We're slow enough, so I'll still drop the gear out and just show you the gear animation. It looks very nice and very smooth. And bring that back up. The only issue I've noticed with the airplane, and this is being nitpicky, is while all the other displays are very smooth and fluid, the primary flight display, if you roll it quickly, is not very fluid. And this may just be something with the actual MD-11. I just haven't seen it in any of the glass that I've flown, but this is also, 1990s or 80s or 90s technology. So you can see that's all up. Go ahead and we'll look over there. Hydraulics. Everything looks good. Electrical. So all that sort of stuff is there, and does seem to work pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and switch our time over to night now. And I will show you the night lighting in the airplane. Like I said, you can do the full startup. For the sake of the video and sake of time, I just decided to do the Control E startup, like I do in most of my reviews. I'm not a super deep systems guy. I'm the kind of person who wants to go ahead and just get in the airplane, fly the flight, and have a good time. So right now I've got the dome light on here. For some reason they've got the dome light hooked up to the taxi lights, which I think this is a little glitch. But what we can do here, shed some light on everything. So I find the switches here. Kind of hard to find. That's fuel tank. I actually regret turning that landing light off there. So you can bring on your autopilot by itself. You can bring on the backlighting. The backlighting on this looks okay. It looks kind of weird at lower settings. That also has to do with us having HDR on and prepared. I'm actually going to hit that real quick. Just to be able to find these. We'll go ahead and bring these on. And we'll turn that back off. As you can see, the panel actually lights up pretty good at night. And if I want to rotate this on here, one. And I can bring on my panel floods. They're a little bit too bright with HDR at the max setting, but here they look pretty darn good. I would put the panel lighting, up there, at least with Coronado, looks wise, but customability wise, up there with any of them. So our displays are a little bright for night, so we can go ahead and turn all these down. Alright. So we'll go ahead and turn it back towards Hong Kong. The only thing I'm not seeing work with this airplane is the logo light. It's not working right now. Alright, so I'm going to switch this back to day and just kind of, so we'll go time and season, we'll go back to day, and I'm going to put us in a little bit of weather, just so I can show you the windshield wiper animations, because they look very nice. This is one place where I think they missed out a little bit. I mean, I understand not wanting to pay for the True Light or the True Glass license or PMDG's rainmaker or whatever you want to use for that. But they could have used like Real Air did with their airplanes, the default weather or default cloud, default rain, sorry, model on the windshield, because there is one available. It just has to be turned on inside the model. If any of you are Real Air owners, you'll know that as well. So you got an overwing view. Looks pretty nice. Alright, so we'll go ahead. We'll turn the airplane back towards Hong Kong. And we'll set up to land at Kai Tak.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate. Sync rate.
2500.
Sync rate. 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 Sync rate.
But in the air, you can see the exterior model does look good. Flight model wise, the airplane is pretty decent. It does have a couple kind of idiosyncrasies. If you go to take it to, let's say, a full deflection, the elevator can actually kind of put the airplane up into a Cobra, which I kind of doubt the real MD-11 can do. That's just kind of a minor thing there.
Up.
And we'll go ahead and fly it out.
Altitude.
But other than that, the flight model feels actually pretty darn good. It feels like, a nice heavy aircraft, not like some add-ons that feel very light, even though they're a heavy jet. So go ahead and bring our windshield wipers on here. Kai Tak there. We'll just set up for the landing.
1000.
And for those of you who are wondering, I am using Rex Skyforce, and this is Fly Tampa's Hong Kong Kai Tak. So we'll fly that famous Kai Tak approach in. For the most part, I won't actually program it in, though it will accept it. I'm just going to go ahead and just fly it in visually.
Gear down and lock, 3 green.
Stabilizer motion.
flaps 50.
1,000.
Hold up.
Altitude. 500. Approaching then 100. 50, 40, 30, 20. 10.
Spoilers up.
Obviously, you have the reverse range animated as well. But we're pretty light, so it doesn't take it too long to stop.
Full lap. Full lap.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of taxi us off the runway here. And I'm also going to pull up the passenger version of this airplane, just so I can kind of show that to you real quick as well. The aircraft does come in one package with both the passenger and cargo versions. And both are very nice looking aircraft. The nice thing about the passenger version is that it does have a separate ground package with it. So obviously you won't be getting the cargo vehicles and stuff. You'll be getting passenger style vehicles. So once my flight or selected vehicle page loads up here, we'll kind of go through some of the different passenger versions and all the repaints. So you have a Delta version, which is an older school Delta paint job. FedEx, looks very nice. KLM, Lufthansa Cargo, which is what we're flying. Martin Air Cargo. You have a kind of a polished metal passenger version here. Swiss Air and UPS. So we'll go ahead and we'll load up the KLM version here. I've always liked KLM's paint job. So we'll load that up. So if I go, I'm going to go ahead and set my parking brake here. So this is what you get if the IRS is not lined up, and they're went ahead and lined up for us. Flight director does work. You can turn it off there. So like I said, the passenger also has a passenger version, as you can see. They're very nice looking on the outside as well. So if I decide to, I want to bring out my trucks and stuff, so I can, open up my baggage door. So I'll go ahead and open up my main door here. Go ahead and we'll get the air stairs, the ground crew out here, and ground service. So instead of those cargo trucks, you got a couple there loading, unloading bags. You've got our baggage handlers and our catering, and then there's our actual what's the wrong thing. Then there's our truck to unload passengers. You can also open the cargo doors here for these guys, so they can get in there and unload the bags and cargo and stuff. Obviously GPU mode. And the maintenance mode is the same on this as it is the freight version. But still a very neat add-on with a lot of really nice features. There are a couple things I would like to see them improve upon. Also, the animations here are really nice as well. All these vehicles. I would like to see them work on the textures a little bit in a couple spots in the VC, like here and right here, and up here and here. Those are really the only bad spots in the VC that I've seen. I would like them to also put in a better FMS or FMC. The one that's in here is just very limited, and I think is going to hurt the airplane in the long run. I'm currently looking to see if I can find a freeware or maybe even payware FMC to install in this airplane as a pop-up, just so I can put something a little more deep in here, or I may end up trying to put like a Garmin 750 or something in it. I know that's really unrealistic, but just so I can do RNAV, etc. approaches in this airplane. But overall, I'm very pleased with this airplane. I think that they've done a very nice job with it. I do recommend it if you are interested in the MD-11, because the way I look at it this way, there's no other MD-11 in prepared 3D version 4. If you're on a 64-bit platform, this is your choice in MD-11. So if you like the MD-11, here you go. I have heard rumors that TDFI, the makers of the 717, are going to be bringing out an MD-11. A lot of the systems are the same, at least, flight computer systems and stuff, but I have not seen an official announcement for this. So, that should be taken with a grain of salt. PMDG has said they are not going to remake the MD-11. It is what it is. That's done. So for 64-bit simulators, which are the wave of the future, you have a choice of this aircraft or waiting until Rotate Sim releases their MD-11 on X-Plane 11, which I'm very, very much looking forward to. I have their MD-80. It's a great airplane. But that's also another platform. So if you have a bunch of scenery on prepared 3D or FSX, and you want to, keep that scenery and be able to use it in your 64-bit platform, this MD-11 is kind of it. But seriously, it's a very, very nice airplane. A lot of the stuff here does work. So obviously you can go between inches and whatever that other one is, baropressure, I guess. You can go between true and magnetic, IS and Mach, heading and track. I'm not sure what the difference between those two is. You can go feet and meters, VS versus FPA. Not 100% sure what that is. Obviously, you can adjust your minimums. You can set it off of the baro, or you can set it off of the radar altimeter. Like I said, all these do work correctly. And overall, a really, really decent airplane. I would definitely recommend it if you are in the market for a freighter or in the market for a MD-11. If you are a person who's really into deep systems like the FS Labs or Majestic Dash 8, where you have all the circuit breakers that work, this is not the airplane for you. But for people like me who just want to jump in an airplane, simulate a flight, it's a great deal. And it's a great airplane. I think it's 41 euros, which is not a bad price considering that what it costs to have a study level sim in a 64-bit platform. And for this, you can use it in any of the ESP based platforms from FSX, FSX Steam, Prepared 3D version 2, V3, and V4. I hope everyone has enjoyed this review, and I hope you found it helpful in making your decision on this airplane one way or the other. I do hope you go out and purchase this airplane, just because we need to show developers some support, and they can't improve unless we go out and buy their products. and help them. All right, folks, it's been great doing this review, and just putting this out there. I paid for this airplane. It wasn't provided to me for the review or anything like that. So this is just my personal unbiased opinion on the airplane. Then those engine animations I was talking about, and if you come back here, one more thing I just wanted to show you. You can actually see the fan blade turning in there in the third engine. You can see it up in these engines as well. So some thought has gone into this product to make it, a good product. So I said, let's go out there, support the developer, and enjoy having an MD-11 in a 64-bit platform. Have a good day, everyone.